Hey guys, welcome back to Bearded Lumber. Matthew and I appreciate you tuning in. Today we've got 3 beautiful bundles of red oak, white oak that we're doing for one of our contractor customers. This come off a piece of property that's going back in one of the houses they're building, and they're getting pretty close to needing it, so we just got it out of the kiln yesterday. Today we're going to run it, and we've got a lot to do to get to that point, so come back and we'll go in great detail about it. Okay guys, welcome back. I hope you're enjoying some cooler weather. Matthew and I are, finally. We set a record here in Greenville-Spartanburg area, 40 something days above 90 degrees. Longest stretch recorded in history. But it's like 65 this morning and it feels great. It's rainy, overcast, supposed to chase the rain all week, so good indoor project for today. Our goal is to run this through the edger, then run it through our molder S4S, and then turn around and run it again as tongue and groove. Now, you'll see us doing that, but we're doing a lot more than just that. And I want to take a minute to show you. We're going through these boards individually, looking for things like this. The ends had a defect right here, and they dried real poorly. Well, we'll saw that off while we're going through the process. And we're looking for any boards that just took a real nasty bow. I don't see any yet, but I can't see the whole pile. And if we get one that's just really bowed out of whack, we'll saw that one in half or in third to get it straightened up enough, because we cut this at 5 inches and we're gonna have to cut it at 4 1/4 to be able to straight line it, because it drew up to 4 1/2. Same thing with these. We cut them at 7. And in the drying process, they've dried up to 6 1/2, 6 5/8, kind of in that range. Well, Matthew's got to have something to take off on the edger, so we're going to cut these to 6 1/4 on the edger, and we'll barely get a 5 1/2 out of that, 5 5/8 out of that. Time we S4S it and then turn around and run it again as tongue and groove V-groove. But we've done enough of this to know that there's no cheating. There's no way around it. If you want a quality finished product, you got to work through the steps. If you have to have a 6-inch board, I probably should have cut these at 7 1/2, to be honest with you. And that would have left enough meat to straight line, S4S, and then tongue and groove. Because to get a 6-inch finished board, I need about 6 and almost 3/8 when you include the tongue. So that's our goal. You'll see us going through them. It just takes time behind the machine. I'm sorry, I don't know any other way. I know you don't want to sit here for an hour and a half and watch us run these. So we'll put it on time lapse, but just realize we're doing more than sticking boards in there. We're using our eyes, we're using our brain, trying to figure out how we can best upscale that each individual board. And that's what Matthew's doing. When he's looking at it, he's picking out the straightest side to run, take the bow off of it. If it's got some major malfunction on the end of it, we'll just go ahead and saw it off, because we don't want to stick that through our nice edger or molder over here. So that's it. It's just work. It's process, 2 or 3 step process to go through. So it ain't gonna get done if we don't do it. Let's get to work. Okay guys, hope you enjoyed some of that time lapse. We're not done yet. We run all the 4 1/4. Now we're running the 6 1/4. It just takes time. We stopped, took a break. If you've seen some of my shorts, we got a new video series coming out on a 2000 Ford truck we bought. It had an ambulance body on it. Still does. I hadn't took it off yet. But I posted it on Facebook Marketplace. Within 5 minutes, I had a guy message me wanting to buy it. So, win, win, win. We love Marketplace. It gets us in trouble, but I got no plans of getting off of it anytime soon. I find a lot of things on there, but back to what we're doing. We're trying to run through all these. It's a beautiful, cool, rainy day today. After the last 2 months, we're enjoying it. I got my pants on. I'm not sweating just standing here thinking about working. So we'll get this run. We'll get it over in the other building and we'll set our machine back up to run S4S, and we'll run through all this and one more step in the process. So like I always say, it takes, butt in the seat. It takes time to make this happen. So we're just going to get over here, put my earbuds in, turn my book back on. I don't listen to a book anytime sawmilling. Unless I'm working by myself, I might. But if me and Matthew are working, I'm 100% focused on that. But Matthew's doing the hard work. I'm just off bearing. I'm trying to pick the square side and lay them all one way, so when I go over here to run them, I basically pick it up and I got the square side where I want it, and I can either run it this way or this way. So that's what I'm doing on my end. Matthew's doing all the hard work. So enough talking about it. Let's just go do it. Okay guys, welcome back. Hope you enjoyed watching Matthew and I hustle in hyper speed. We got them all run. I didn't count up how many boards. I didn't want to know. It's just a bunch of them. But this will make the next step going through the molder so much easier, because we've got a good straight line on one side. Some of them straight line on both sides. And all the real bad ones, Matthew cut in half or cut the end off or shortened them up. Did just various different things to try to get the most out of the board we could get. Yeah, it'd be nice to not have to do this, because the winding can run it rough. But when they all take that much of a bend, this is your next best option, is size them all down to the next dimension that you can work with and then run them. Because even if we make a board a little smaller than we intended, I want to make a perfect board. So when they put it down, it is a quality product. It don't have a bow in it, don't have a spot where the tongue missed or the groove missed. That's the end result, is as good a quality board as we can get. We lost some time this morning, had a customer drive up from hour and a half away. Of course, they took precedent. We spent time with them. They purchased a big pile of maple. We'll cover that in another video because we're actually going to secondary process all of it into a product that they want. So that'll be upcoming. But for today, we're done with this. We're going to move it over out of the way because we need to work on that other project. But don't worry, we'll be right back on this job, and we're going to S4S it, then tongue and groove it, and get it out of here. So we'll be back. Got an extra helper here today. You've seen Mike before. This neighbor, Mr. Parkland, he's been asking me about running our molder planer for a long time. Matthew had an appointment this morning, so I called him yesterday. I said, "You want to work a little this morning?" So he graciously volunteered. We've got a, I forget, 1,400 square feet of red oak, white oak mix that we got to run for hardwood flooring. So welcome back. Like I say, we've got a bunch of tongue and groove hardwood flooring we're making. This is a 3-step process after dried. Matthew and I went through with the EG100, edged it all, got us a good straight edge, and we're running it through the machine. Basically 6 1/8 wide, 950 thousandths thick. It's not clearing by any means, but it is getting the sides good and straight and getting us to a known thickness. And then we run the final pass at TNG 3/4 of an inch. We'll pick the prettiest side for the face and we'll run it right through. But we've run enough of this to know that you can't do it in one pass. It's just the wood, the oak is too hard. Now, Matthew and I run some TNG pine yesterday, like we got on the ceiling. One pass wonder, shoo, done. But pine's so much softer, we could take the thicks and the thins, and we could take the variance in width and chew it right out. This oak, maple, hickory, you're not going to do that. We're taking very little off the sides, and we're taking very little off the thickness. And when we come back to finish, we'll take about 200 thousandths off the top and the bottom together, and take very little off the sides, creating the tongue and the groove. So there's our stack of rough cut stuff sitting out there. We've already run a few this morning. Mike and I were having a good time just talking and working, and I forgot to get the camera out. We stopped and got us some coffee. You can tell I'm already wringing wet with sweat. So, like I say, you can look at them. They're not perfect by any means, but they are dimensionally accurate. They're 6 1/8 wide, and they're 950 or less on thickness. So when we go to run that second pass, I won't have any surprises of an 1 1/8 board, 1 1/4 trying to run through there and the machine grumbling about it. And it's like running a planer. You've ever run a regular grizzly planer or something like this? The first pass is always horrible because you're fighting the thicks and thins. And once you get all them leveled out, then the rest of the passes just kind of go real easy. And that's the way this works. Yes, it takes longer, but we're shooting for a excellent finished product. We're not looking for any kind of junk. When you're doing tongue and groove, V-groove, you can get by with some defects because in the grand scheme of things, it looks great. But when you're doing a hardwood floor, it's got to be straight, it's got to be true. You put them together, you want them to fit tight. So, whole different animal we're eating. Let's look at our machine real quick. Y'all seen this several times. First thing we had to do this morning is we changed it over from tongue and groove side cutter heads to our straight heads. Nothing special there. Didn't have to change the top, bottom, or the entry cutter because they're just straight knives. Pretty easy setup. Now when we switch back to tongue and groove hardwood flooring, it'll be a lot more detail, a lot more in depth. Probably run a few more test passes to really dial in exactly where we want thickness and width. But for this, we're just roughing it out, making it parallel, and making it 950 or less. So it's just work, guys. Like I tell you all the time, it takes butts and elbows to make this happen. So we're gonna quit talking, turn the machine on, and get to running them. Okay, guys, welcome back. We had to stop, had a customer come by and pick up some work. Matthew and I finished yesterday. As I always say, that's the best looking wood. It's loaded up on somebody's truck and it's headed out. Matthew just showed back up so he can take some of the load off of Mike helping us out. We'll try to sit out on top with Mike when we get a chance, but I'll turn around here and get a little better light. He's thinking about getting on YouTube, having a hard time figuring out what he wants to do, so maybe I'll give him some ideas after we talk to him. We're going to get back in front of the fan, get to making some sawdust, so let's get to it. Okay, guys, welcome back. It's the next day for us. We really appreciate Mike coming by to help. Going to try to get him to help finish the project, but he had something he had to go do. And yesterday afternoon, the bottom fell out. Let me tell you, it rained and rained and rained. And we went and worked on another project for a little while. So we come back this morning. We finished up all the S4S with Mike's help yesterday, and it actually worked out pretty good because he could off bear and Matthew was feeding and I was going through flipping, getting the sides I wanted to run through. And we had a lot of short pieces because this wood, I could have made it smaller, but I didn't want to, especially the 4-inch boards. They were already small enough. So we ended up having to cut a lot of them in half or in a third versus 2/3 to get the bow out of it so we could straight line edge it and then S4S it without sacrificing so much of the face. So that being said, we got all that done. We got our machine reset to tongue and groove hardwood flooring, which is pretty involved. We had to change both side cutters. We had to change this top cutter to put the scallop cuts on the back. And then the two side cutters, we didn't have to change the level. Level stays the same. They move in and out based on the circumference of the cutter head itself. The top cutter is a complete reset because the radial circumference is tremendously different than a straight knife because it's the scallop cutter. But all that's done, it's ready to run. We run three test pieces. Quite happy with it. I think it looks very good. They fit together very nice. Dimensionally, they're right where we want to be. Thick-wise, they're right where they want to be, and the quality is excellent. Now, if you look at this one, it's got some defects. Now, I can't help that, but the customer can cut it here, and utilize all of that. Now, remember, this is their wood. It's what they brought to us. We sawed it, dried it, and we're making the best we can out of it. And that's fine. They were happy. It's kind of a mixed load. Red oak, white oak. I think there's even maybe a black oak mixed in there, wasn't it? Yeah. It's a mixed bag. And that's fine. You can do that if you're going to do a dark stained floor or you don't mind the variation in colors. Now, if you're wanting a red oak look or a white oak look, then don't mix it because you won't be happy with it. But the quality looks pretty good so far. Nothing else to do but do it, guys. Like I say, this stuff don't get done unless you put hours behind the machine. What did I say yesterday? about an hour and a half worth of running, linear foot wise. So about 2 hours, we should be able to run all this without too much difficulty, I hope. So enough talking. It's hot and humid. We're going to turn the fans on and get to it. Hey guys, welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that time lapse. I'm sorry. This stuff just takes time, and I can't let this camera run for, I think we run it about an hour and a half. It run great, no problems. We're tickled to death with it. It's a beautiful product for the homeowner. Now it's not perfect, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of stuff like this. It's got a defect, it didn't clear up, but there's a good piece there they can use. These were not our logs. They brought us the logs, and we cut the best we could get out of it. Just like this, you know, there's a crotch knot going through it. They can choose to use it, put some epoxy in it, or cut it off. That'll be a game day decision for them. Like I say, there's a little lower quality, but that's what they were looking for grade-wise. The reason there's a lot of short pieces is we cut this 7 and a quarter, 7.5 wide, and every one of them took a bow. Every one of them. And we had to take a fair amount off edging them to get them straight. So we lost a little bit of the width. I was shooting for 6 inches, and we ended up with a 5 3/4, and that's acceptable unless I was trying to match 6 inch. But this is a whole package for one job, and that 5 3/4 won't make any difference. But you just never know drying this stuff. Sometimes it'll dry laser straight, and sometimes the tree, especially if you cut a whole tree and that thing's got some natural tension built into it. Don't remember seeing any when we sawed it, but like I say, when it dried, every one of them took a little bow. Some of them we were able to straighten, and some of them was bad enough to get it straight without wasting wood. We cut them in half and just made shorter pieces to yield more. So that's why there's so many of them cut in half. Business side, we enjoy doing this kind of stuff. It adds a lot of value to our bottom line, and that comes in a couple of different aspects. If we were sawing this to go on a trailer or go on the side of a barn, we got paid one time and it goes home. We were sawing this to get to the day, so we charged for sawing it. We stickered, banded it, then we kiln dried it, and then today we finished processing it, and we charge for that. So this same group of logs, we got paid basically 3 times: cutting, drying, and finished processing. And that allows us to deal with less logs and make more money because we're doing the whole process as we go through. And we enjoy it. It takes time. These logs, we sawed them back in May. You know, so you got to go through the process. It's actually going to a contractor. Talked to him this morning. They're about 2 weeks away from needing it. So we met the goal, got it done before they needed it, which is a good thing. But this represents a sizable increase in the profit margin for bearded lumber. And if you can ever get to that point in your business and you have the market for it, I suggest you do it. It really helps out what we do around here. The kiln is a sizable investment. It is. And it's a monthly investment. That thing don't run on pixie dust. It takes dollars to make that thing run. But if it's running and you're filling it up with customer wood, your wood, it's making money. It'll pay for itself. Same thing with this molder planer. It don't run on pixie dust either. Its big expenses is the power bill. If we run it a lot, it does cost a lot extra to run it. But it's the cost of the machine, the time investment in learning how to run it properly, and then the tooling and the knives. Tooling it may last forever if you don't ever crash it. Now the knives, they're consumable. And you can go through, you can hit a nail or some kind of foreign debris, and you can spit out $1,000 worth of carbide real quick. It can get expensive. I've got some wood coming in that I didn't saw that we're going to run, and that's one thing I tell the customers: look, I didn't saw this, and if they hit a nail and didn't get it out, and I hit it with this carbide head, you're paying the cost of what it screws up because it's sizable. It can get pricey real quick. But that's things you got to tell people up front. You know, if I saw this, and I can't remember if we hit any nails, but if we did, Matthew and I pulled the nail out so that it wasn't in here for secondary processing. And if somebody else saw it, I don't know if they, did that. So just tip of the day, cover all that with your customers up front so they don't get surprised and you don't get burnt with a big expense from buying new tooling. And the money sometimes is not as much aggravation as time. Because these custom knives can take, 4 to 6 weeks from time I call and order it till I get them back. That's why I normally order in batches of, I think, 6 to get their price drop. But, when I get down to if I'm down to the last 2 sets, I'm probably going to go ahead and order because I know it's such a lead time getting them. But anyway, we enjoy running it. I hope you enjoyed watching it. If you got any questions about it, drop them in the comment section. I'll do my best to answer them. We've done many videos on this winding. If you can go back and look at our playlist. We've went into a great deal on how to set it up. Matthew and I have done enough of them. We just jump in there and do it. He'll work on one section. I'm working on another. 5 to 10 minutes, we got it ready to run the first piece, make a minor adjustment, and we're just running them on through. So that's going to do it, guys. Big shout out to Matthew and Solomon. As always, I appreciate them doing the video editing for me. Frees me up to answer all my phone calls I get and stuff. If you get a chance, check out Solomon's channel, Third Beard Fishing. We got a vacation scheduled here shortly. We'll do some filming while we're down there enjoying their company, and we'll bring you along for that. Big shout out to Wood Mizer. We couldn't get to this finished product if it wasn't for Wood Mizer with our sawmill and our kiln, our blade sharpener setter, our EG100 over here. We use all that. I don't run a Wood Mizer molder. They're fine. They're an excellent machine, but I need something with just a little more horsepower, a lot more. And this winding, it fits the bill for what we do. And we can literally run this thing, 24 hours a day, and it don't mind. So that's going to do it, guys. Appreciate each and every one of you watching. If you're wanting a hat, check out beardedlumbernc.com. Let me know how you're liking the new camera and our microphone. I watch all our videos, you know, after Matthew and Solomon get them edited, and it does seem better to me, but how does it sound to you? Let me know. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you back at the mill.
Thank you for watching. Here's a video selection and a playlist suggestion. Click here to subscribe for more great content. We'll see you at the mill.